everybody. Welcome back to Beauty and Brains with Dr. Zuri Dale. And you know, on Beauty and Brains, we talk about a bunch of topics. Some heavy, some light, some about science, some about beauty, and some about wellness and beauty, like the episode today. And I'm so excited to be here with my good friend, Roneshia Ray. Hey. She is actually like the perfect person to talk about this topic with. Not only is she beautiful, but she is like everything I aspire to be in terms of like taking care of oneself. She is like always so put together, and I feel like you are a person who really prioritizes like your emotional, psychological, physical, and mental well-being.
We try.
At least you try.
We try.
I see an effort. You are trying. And so this episode is all about how self-care routines and beauty rituals kind of affect some of that. And I feel like you're the perfect person to talk about that.
We're going to find out.
So we're going to get right into it. Before we start, talk a little bit about yourself. Like, tell the audience who you are, what you do. I know who you are. You're that girl. You're like the moment. You are T. Ooh. But they don't know. So tell them who you are.
Yeah, the way she's gassing me, it's like Shell Oil and Gas in here. I'm Roneshia. I am a Houston native, and I have been in the beauty, pageant, boutique business for, I started pageants about 20 years ago. And that kind of ages me, but I've been Miss Black America, Miss Black Texas, Miss Black Houston, Miss North America, Miss Louisiana. So just a pageant girl at heart that enjoys everything that is like beauty, fashion, and all things self-care. And I would say self-care because like in between those series, I got into therapy, started figuring out what it is to like take care of yourself first instead of taking care of everybody else. So I really say I'm like a beauty connoisseur, a beauty fashion girl, and if it's giving fashion, makeup, lashes, hair, wigs, nails, that come to me.
That's it. That's you. Yeah. Hair, wigs, nails, fashion, everything. Yeah. So let's get right into it. I need to know, because first of all, you're like aging backwards. You are the one that kind of put your age out there. I didn't put your age out there. But what I'm saying, so Roneshia and I met each other in college. We were friends in college. But my question is like, you are aging backwards. So what are some of those like self-care rituals or beauty routines that you most love that you want to share? Because give us the tea.
So what I've learned is that if you don't have a plan for yourself, then life will have a plan for you. When it comes to like self-care routines, when it comes to like just being able to take care of yourself, if you don't have a plan for it, the day will go by and you'll never do any of those things. So first things first, it's really about what you eat. So I discovered that a lot of the things that were happening to my body were based off of what I was intaking. And for me, because I don't drink and I don't smoke, it was sugar. And it was my consumption of sugar and what it was doing to my body, from skin breakouts to fatigue to feeling like bloated to things not fitting right to things not like hair falling out because I wasn't having enough iron and so my hair is thinning. So all things beauty start from within. And I know sometimes that's hard for people to hear. They're like, I just want a quick fix, I want a quick fix. And you can get all the treatments that you want to, but if you're not taking care of yourself from the inside out, it's gonna last momentarily and then after that, it'll be gone.
So let's talk about that. Okay, so what are some of the things that you cut out?
Oh, God. Okay, so I don't eat meat. I'm on a pescatarian diet. We talked about I've never drank and I never smoked.
Well, you not eating meat?
No, I
don't.
And
you not drinking? What
or
do you
smoking.
Do?
I shop. I spend the hell out some money. I will max out
and drink
a car
water?
And drink a lot of water and drink a lot of water. And I didn't really realize like I know everybody in the room is like side-eyeing me right now.
That's what you do in your spare time.
I will max out a credit card at Sex Honey and just be in there shopping till I can't no more. Yeah, I don't. And people are always like, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't eat meat. Like, what do you do? And I'm like,
but you do a lot because you always out somewhere.
Yeah, I'm always out somewhere. I just am out sober. Very sober. Very sober, okay? So just know that if you don't remember what happened, baby, I do. Okay, I can tell you what happened. So yeah, I think that. So then we go into like vitamins. I just started getting into like vitamins that were not like Flintstone gummies. So I know we all grew up on like the Flintstone gummies, like, you know, the chewables, but just like real vitamins that are actually not in pill form, but in liquid form.
Like what?
So Mary Ruth's vitamins is absolutely disgusting, but I started noticing that my hair is thinning. And the reason why my hair is thinning is because my iron was low. And the reason why my iron was low is because I took out meat from my diet. And so you took out those things, but you have to find a way to put it back in.
So, okay, wait, let's back up. Okay, you wake up in the morning. What do you do?
I wake up in the morning, I pray first.
Okay, what time you get up?
5:30.
What time you go to sleep?
I'm
Okay, yeah, you in the bed at 8, girl. Okay.
Yeah.
So you waking up at 5:30. Okay, you pray. What's next?
After I pray, I'm working on not touching my phone until after I touch my devotional. So my first touch should be my devotional or something biblical and not my phone. And that's been the hardest thing because we grew up with phones. And so when I roll over, I look at my phone to see what time it is.
Okay, so I saw this post on Instagram today that was like, what do you eat for breakfast? And it said Outlook emails.
Yeah.
That is so real.
No, like, and whether I'm going to like check to see what all has happened from when I slept, it's like your first touch in the morning is going to be your phone. Like, you're not going to touch your heart space. You're not going to talk to the Lord. You're not going to read no devotion. You're just going to be like, oh, yeah, my phone. And then once you touch it, it's over. Like, you're in a warp zone. Like, it's like once you touch it, it's glued to you, and you don't get unglued until something triggers you to get out the bed, whether that's to go pee, your kids calling your name, Baden taps you on the shoulder, but you're not moving from that phone until something else happens. And so you just realize, I know for me, I would get up at 5:30. I would pray, and I wouldn't get out of my bed until 6:45. And it's like, well, what the hell were you doing for an hour and 15 minutes?
You been
was
up.
Scrolling. You was on Instagram. You done screenshot some shoes. You get up and do something else other than touch the phone. So to kind of alleviate that, I put the Alexa in my room so I can just say, what time is it, Alexa? And she'll tell me. So I won't be like, oh, I don't know what time it is. It's in my phone. You don't.
Making
An alarm
excuses.
clock wasn't really messing with my aesthetics in my room.
Yeah.
So the Alexa.
Okay, so you get up. You're going to pray. You're not going to touch the phone before you do your devotional. And then what's next? Like, what is your beauty routine? Like, what are you doing in the morning?
In the morning, I have a glass of water by my bed. So I'm going to drink my water first. I'm going to be in my pajamas because you have to go to sleep in pajamas to wake up to feel pretty. I'm not going to sleep in my old T-shirt.
I'm feeling triggered right now.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to go to sleep in my T-shirt, my drawers, and my T-shirt and the panties on like Adina Howard. I've surpassed Adina. So we're going to go to sleep in some nice pajamas.
Okay,
I'm going to put my house shoes on.
Okay.
Yes.
Do they have a little heel?
I wish. If I could find some house shoes that have like ostrich.
A little heel.
And if y'all know, link it below in the comments. If you know any like house shoes that have like the ostrich feathers on there. Just a little heel. Just a little height. Just a little height. Because I have a robe that actually has.
I can see you with a robe on, girl.
If you gave me a spiral staircase, it is over for y'all. Because I will walk down all my Instagram reels will start with me walking down a spiral staircase with ostrich feathers draping me. And they're going to be like, where does this lady think she live? In my head, ma'am. I live in my head. I live in a fantasy world. It's not real.
Okay.
Then after that, I'm going to walk to my bathroom. I'm going to open up all my blinds because sunlight is important in the morning. So open up all the blinds. I'm going to put on my gospel music. I'm going to tell Alexa to play my gospel morning playlist. Brush my teeth. And the first thing that I do, people always are like, you don't use towels? I don't use face towels.
What do you use, a disposable?
I use a disposable.
Girl, I love me a good disposable.
I use a disposable.
You put it under the water and it just kind of expands. It's like magic.
Well, no, I actually use ones from Clean Skin. And
those are the expensive kind.
Yeah, but
you're using the pre-expanded towels.
Yeah, they're pre-expanded and have like a little clear case for them. But I refuse to use towels anymore. And my esthetician explained this to me. All the stuff that we wash our towels with, so the fabric softener, the laundry detergent, all that's in that towel. And then you activate it with your face wash and then you put it on your face.
Oh, so I guess that's why I'm breaking out?
Yeah, so what I've noticed is that all the breakouts that I used to have, I don't have anymore. And the thing that I changed was that I'm not washing my face with my laundry detergent anymore.
Okay, girl. Okay, so I got to get pajamas.
Yes, I got to get pajamas.
House shoes with a little heel.
You do?
I got to get Alexa.
Yes.
Because I don't have that. Because I'm using an alarm clock, and you already said that does not go with the aesthetic.
Well, my aesthetic, it can go with yours.
No,
aesthetic.
wait a minute.
It can go with yours. Like, if you have like a cute, I didn't find a cute one on.
It's not cute.
Okay, well, yeah, no, let that go.
Okay, I need to get one.
Okay.
Put on my ostrich heels in my robe. Then I go to the bathroom, and I'm not washing my face with a regular towel.
No, and you want to brush your teeth before you wash your face, so that way you get all the fluoride that you may have like spilled away from your mouth, so that doesn't cause breakouts either, or dryness around your skin, and wash it off as well. So brush your teeth, wash your face.
Gotcha.
First.
Okay, so what about your vitamins? Like, what are you taking and for what reason? Like, in the morning?
So in the morning, I have to take an iron supplement because, like I said, I took out the iron from my diet and it made me severely anemic. And I didn't know that until I went to do like my health check, and it was like all of these things are low. The lowest thing is your iron. Like, you're supposed to be at a 7. I was like at a 4. And I probably would have needed a blood transfusion had they not caught it in time.
Oh.
And I knew something was off because the way I would eat ice was like, girl, are you pregnant? Like, why are you going through like Route 44 cups of ice from Sonic 3 a day? And then it had gotten really bad that I had invested in a crushed ice machine so it can get like the little bitty nuggets like Sonic, because I was like, I'm tired of giving Sonic my $1.44. Like, let me get a machine. Because in the middle of the night, who want to drive to Sonic?
Not in your ostrich robe.
Not in my ostrich. You know, your pajamas don't go outside because they're not house clothes anymore. They're outside. They're not. Once they touch outside air, they outside. And you want to put them back in your bed?
Do you wear a bonnet to sleep?
Do I wear a bonnet? Yes.
Or
but
is
in
your
case,
hair just like that when you sleep?
Well, I take this off. But underneath here, I do wear a bonnet to sleep.
Do you have, okay, let me ask you this. Do you have braids under your wig?
Yes.
Okay, so like us regular folk, you do got braids under your wig.
Okay, sometimes I have flat twists underneath my wig. Just because they're more, like, you have to think about
when you take it off.
When you take it off, that could be a very scary moment for somebody else. You used to seeing yourself like that, but somebody else may not be used to that. Okay. So you don't want to just give them a very stark Halloween scare before Halloween.
Okay, I got you.
And so the flat twists look like, oh, okay, cool.
It's like still put together.
It's still put together.
It's like still a hairstyle, actually.
Right, and I will wear my flat twist out. So when I work out and stuff, I'll wear the flat twist. I'll just push out my baby hair and I wear the flat twist. The Miss Silly braids look like I'm 12 years of a slave.
So
and
I need a robe, I need pajamas, I need to take these Cleo braids out my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, you know, sometimes a real wig lady, she want to lay your braids like going this way.
Oh, I hate them kind.
And it's like, ma'am, why you lay my braids going this way? But it's so the wig can lay flat. Mm-hmm. And so the wig is not as flat with the flat twist because it gives it a little more volume, but I also don't look like I'm on death row.
Okay.
So,
okay. Let me go back.
Pick one.
So now we're in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. We washing our face with these towels, these disposables, the expensive kind, in the clear acrylic case.
They're $15 for 50 of them.
Oh, that's a lot. In the clear acrylic case. Mm-hmm. Got it. You brushing your teeth before you wash the face because the fluoride can also break you out.
It can.
Okay. So what else? What supplements are you taking? What else are you doing after that?
Iron. I'm taking the Black Girl Vitamins, which I love.
Okay, Black Girl Vitamins. Okay.
And they have two of them. They have one for hair, one for skin, and one for nails, and they have a combo pack. They're gummies, but they're not good. Like, they're not tasty. They're still chalky like a vitamin would be. I'm going to do my morning walk, which is about 3 miles. Don't run, just walk.
Okay.
My morning walk, 3 miles, just walk. And while I'm doing that, that's my prayer time with God. So I have like my gospel headphones on. Now, if one of my friends call, I'm going to answer. Because that's a good, like, you have a kiki with your friend in the park in the morning when the tea is piping hot. Okay, that's a good kiki.
Okay.
So if not, that's my 3 mile walk. When I get back home, I'm going to shower. And we forget to exfoliate and put on lotion.
What's funny about the lotion is that I feel like
you don't put your lotion on. You don't put lotion.
I did today.
But you only put lotion on where it's showing, don't you?
I only put it on because somebody was coming over here that would have known I didn't have no lotion.
Yeah, no. You got to get some lotion. And I mix oil and lotion together so that it has like a sheen. So I love brown skin babe oils.
Okay, brown skin babe oils. Okay.
Girl, I found out about them at Essence this year. And she gave away like little free oils. From the time that I went from day 1, I went back to day 2 to go to her booth so I could buy the oil. Because the one she gave me smelled really good. But when I mixed it with my lotion or my shea butter from Trader Joe's.
Tea. Okay.
Tea.
Okay, so y'all heard it. Y'all need to get. I mean, you are very hydrated.
I'm very hydrated, and I like it that way.
You're very hydrated.
I like it. Now, I know I grew up, my grandma would put powder all on us, and she would mix powder.
Karen.
Girl, I was like, if you went like this to me, powder would fly out. And then she would lotion me so well that it would make a paste. Like, because the powder and the lotion would mix, and it would make a paste. And I would be like, this don't feel right, but I couldn't say nothing because who gonna say something to your grandmother? And I would walk around, and I would just be smelling so fresh and so clean. But I feel that same way, just not with the powder.
Just not with the powder. You want to smell yourself.
I do want to smell myself. Okay. And the best compliment to me that somebody can ever give me is to walk past me and say, stop, and turn around and be like, oh, you smell so good.
Okay, so I know, like, I know you for real.
Yeah. We
kind of joking around with about know you for real because you have always been, like, the most well put together person that I know, seriously. This is my question, though. How do all of these little nuances, like, impact your emotional or, like, psychological well-being? Because I'll be honest, this is a place where I lack. I do not take the time for myself. I am a notorious rusher. That's not really the right word. But like I'm notoriously like rushing to get to the next place. Not really taking my time, waking up late, not getting up at 5:30. Definitely not putting on a little ostrich heel in the robe. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Not using those towels, but I'm gonna order those towels. But I just don't take the time for myself at all. Like when it comes to me, it's like, oh, I just need to like get out the door. And I do feel like this past year, well, in 2023 especially, I suffered from a lot of like mental health issues that I readily recognized. And so my question is, how do you think these things like impact you emotionally or psychologically?
I think Black women are not taught to have self-care. Like it's almost like not even recommended for us. I can say for me, I never grew up seeing my mom doing a self-care routine. I can't say that I grew up seeing my grandmother do a self-care routine. They did things, but Black women always put themselves last, especially when you grow up in certain environments. And so we are not taught that we're even worthy of these self-care routines, to have these rituals, to have this access to beauty care or like a healthy lifestyle. It's like you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. And so for me, a part of my rebellion against like, I don't have to be this way was rebelling against that I had to sleep in old dirty t-shirts, that I had to like wash my face with a dirty towel, that I had to use like the cheapest products. I don't. I may have grown up that way, but that's not all that it has to be.
It's so funny you say that because like even right now, you know, when I'm like out, I'm like, oh, let me grab that shirt. I can sleep in that. That is like a line. That's like y'all know. Oh yeah, get that shirt. Like somebody can sleep in that. You know, like we taking stuff like that home, and I never really considered how it may be impacting my sleep. You know,
You don't sleep, the friction from t-shirts. Like you don't sleep well with that on your skin. There's no way. And I'm not saying that you got to sleep in silk every day, right? We can start off small. Target has some of the best, softest pajamas for $15.
Okay. So y'all heard it.
Y'all heard it here first. Target has some of the best pajamas for like $15.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this because I know you like very well. But let me just ask the question. How do you think some of these things and these ways or these practices influence people's perception of you?
Oh my gosh. So when
and what are some of the things that people say?
Crazy stuff. So when I meet people, that number one, think I'm taller than what I am. I'm not.
I know exactly what you mean about that.
Like people think that I'm like this giant.
It's the presence. The presence makes them think that you're bigger.
I might give 6 feet, but I'm not even 5. And it's just like, Or people think that I have grown up in this very affluent life. And I think that's a huge misconception. Well, I never said that. And if you see my mama, you know I never said that.
Girl, I love your mama.
Great. She can come live here. It looks very nice.
I
love the fireplace. She would love it here. I would drop her off in the morning. So homey. Yeah, they think that I've grown up very affluently or think that I've gone to private schools. Some like that I was married to some white man. Just a lot of things that I'm just like, y'all have all... You've masterminded this lifestyle, this persona for me based on things that I have never said.
Like, do any of those things like affect you? Maybe not now, but at any point in time,
yeah, for sure.
do you ever feel like you may have like minimized or hidden some of the things? Because right now, I feel like you speak about these things so confidently because you have definitely grown into yourself. Like, it is what it is. Like, this is me. This is what you get. But was it always that way?
No, absolutely not. I think some of the biggest hurdles that I had to cross was feeling like I didn't deserve certain things because of the way I grew up. And I think when other people would see me and say, oh, she thinks she all that, she ain't had that shit when she was a kid, like who she thinks she is to be walking around in this, or this, or who do you think you are to go to the ballet? And it's just like, if I hadn't grown up the way I've grown up, you wouldn't say those things about me. But you don't think I'm deserving of those things, and so you don't want me to think that I'm deserving of those things either. So now I really got to flex on your ass.
Period. You know what? You really preaching to me because no, seriously. Like, one of the things that my friends always tell me is like, and I know they mean well when they say this, like, you're a little too humble. Like, I feel like that's what we say, you know, but it's kind of like, I've definitely been in that space where you don't want people to feel uncomfortable with your existence, so you almost minimize your existence so that they are not uncomfortable around you. And I know that I've been in that space, and I feel like that plays a large role in some of the things that I do and necessarily don't do, for myself. Because it's hard to tell, I have a lot of different types of friends, a lot of different types, of colleagues. I work during the day. I also have my business. And I come in contact with a lot of different types of people. And I think that some conversations don't always land the exact same way with everybody, you know? It's like sometimes I don't feel like I can tell everybody, oh, I'm going to go get a massage. Oh, I'm going to go get like a Himalayan salt bath. Oh, I'm going to go get, these things. So it's like, oh, no. I'm just about to go home. Sometimes you just don't even share.
And that has nothing to do with you. Like, that's all them. If you can't relate, what I'm supposed to do?
That's one thing I'm working on.
Like, because you can't relate, I think, if anything, because you can't relate, I do my best when I'm in spaces, especially with young girls, where I feel like I'm saying something that goes over their head, and whether that be in self-care and how you should feel about yourself and dreams and ambitions, if you never see it, then you never know that it's obtainable. So in that moment where you feel like they can't relate, I always try to break it down in the simplest form. I'll use this for example, my aunt. My aunt is like, why are you spending so much money on these flowers? Like, you can just get the money. Like, why are you spending so much money on these flowers? And I'm like, well, when you walk into your house and you see fresh florals, like, it really brightens my day. Like, it really makes me feel like, okay, I've made it home to my sanctuary with these fresh flowers. And at first she didn't get it, but when I explained to her, I'm not spending a lot of money on Tuesdays, and don't y'all be at the store on Tuesdays. I don't want to see you.
Where?
On Tuesdays at Central Market, they have dollar roses. All the roses are $1. And so I noticed that all the other women, they were in there picking up their roses for $1, making their bouquets. And so I started going to Tuesdays at Central Market and making my bouquets. I may have spent $30 for 30 roses, which is not a lot of money.
No, it's
I'm
actually
gonna accidentally spend $30 eating.
That's like substituting one thing like for another, and it's really just about how you choose. It's so funny because it's like I'm saying this, I'm having an epiphany. It's like how you spend your money in some ways speaks volumes about how you feel about yourself, right? Like, you're choosing to spend your money on some of these things because you feel that you are deserving of some of those things. And maybe for some people who opt not to do it, it's because they subconsciously feel like, oh, I don't need that. I don't need any fresh flowers. I don't need a higher thread count sheet.
But you do.
I don't need.
Rip in the dryer. They're gonna tear up. And I tell people all the time, you can buy. And
so you actually saving yourself money by buying more expensive things.
I love Amazon. Don't get me wrong. I love Amazon.
Come on now. Wait, what you about to say about Amazon?
I love Amazon. Your whole wardrobe can't be Amazon, though. Because it's Polly and Esther. The whole wardrobe is sisters, Polly and Esther. And if we know anything about Polly and Esther, is that they don't hold together well. You have 1 or 2 washes, and then that's it. You have to have clothes in your wardrobe when we talk about sustaining things, because if you buy something that's $40 and you buy it 7 different times,
that's true.
You might as well just have bought the stuff that was a little bit more and kept it.
That's true. You're right. No,
and don't get me started on cheap shoes. They gonna lean to the left always. They gonna lean with you, and don't gain no weight, because then they gonna lean both ways. You can't stand up straight in no straight shoes and no cheap shoes. There's no way. The cap's gonna come off the bottom of them, and so you spend $40 on Amazon, Fashion Nova, wherever. But how long are those shoes gonna last you? No. Are you gonna have to buy another pair next season?
You will.
You will.
That's true.
Because they're gonna be running over.
So how can we, you brought up a very interesting point about a lot of this is attached to women just not feeling like they deserve.
Black women. Black women feeling like they don't deserve. Because when I talk to other women from other cultures, they have no problem. They're at the spa every week. And not Massage Jimmy, the Post Oak Spa. They get their Botox. They get their IV vitamin shots.
Where do you think that comes from, though?
It is how we're raised. We never saw that. I never saw that. My mom never said anything to me about Botox. The first time my mom went to a spa was because my aunt and I took her. And she didn't know
I can
what
see
the
that.
heck was going on.
Because
She was like, what?
Even when I've asked my mom, like, hey, you want to go to the nail shop? She'll say, oh, yeah, but you know what? I could really use that money for something else. It's like,
Yeah.
no, just get the
Just get the nails.
Get the nails.
Get the nails. I've told my mom,
I love click-clacking on my computer
That's
at
my
work.
favorite thing to do. And even when my mom did go to the nail shop, it didn't look anything like the nail shops that I go to now.
Right.
No, they were still using that cheese grater.
Yeah.
At the bottom of your foot.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I definitely think it's such generational differences. I think that we are probably the generation that is starting to make that shift, because I don't have children, but I have a bonus daughter, and I can see them doing things. And you spoke a little bit about this, and I'm going to talk about this next, because you do a lot of mentorship. I feel like I have not given enough attention to that. I want to come back to that, but we see younger girls doing things that we did not do. I mean, like, they are like in the nail shops. They are like getting their eyebrows done. They are like going to the dermatologist.
Yeah.
I remember, like, when I was a child, like, if you had a breakout, it's like, drink some water.
Go put some toothpaste on it.
Go put, like, we like drying out bumps, you know? And it's not, it just wasn't a thing, you know? And now, you know, kids are... female children, I say, they're just doing all of the things that we didn't get to do. So we hope for a world where they grow up and they become our age and they don't feel unworthy of these things because they've always had these things. And for us, it's kind of unlearning some of the practices that we saw.
It's unlearning and telling yourself that it's okay for me to have these things, even though I didn't start with these things. Like, it's perfectly fine for me to have things that I did not start with. And whether that be trips, whether that be financial security, whether that be emotional intelligence from partners, whether that be security within your own self to feel safe within your own space. Even if I didn't have these things, it's okay for me to have them.
Even if I didn't
start with them.
And I think, too, like, we talk a lot about other people not allowing us the space to evolve and grow, but I think a lot of times we don't allow ourselves the space or the opportunity to evolve. Like, it's okay for us not to be who we were some years ago. It's okay for us not to be who we were some days ago, right? Yeah. It's okay for our minds to change. Maybe a couple of years ago, I thought I didn't need to go get massages, or I didn't need to go to the fancy nail shop. But it's okay 2 years later to have changed my mind.
I felt that way about Botox. Dr. Nia is the only person I will allow to inject me with Botox. And she was like, Ray, I'm going to give you some Botox. And I was like, what you trying to say? Like, what you mean, give me some Botox? I look old? Like, she was like, no, but you use your face a lot for facial expressions, and you're creating frown lines in your forehead. And I was like, she just told me my forehead was big. That's what she told me. I was like, she came up here and she told me my forehead was big. But what she was saying is that preventatively, if we start now, when I actually do need the Botox, I probably won't need it, or I'll need very little. So let's start now as a preventative measure. That blew my mind. Because what I was growing up told is that Botox was for white people, or the one time on Girlfriends when Tony got that Botox and her whole face was stuck like that. Insert a clip of that when, like, she was like... And it was just stuck. So I'm in there nervous, like, oh my God, I'm about to mess up my face.
Or it's also like this idea that if you want to do anything that is not accepted, like in Black culture, that you are trying to appeal to like European standards of beauty, or you're acting like a white girl, or you're acting... you don't want to be Black, you know. We've heard all of the things in terms. You must don't like yourself, or you have low self-esteem,
and it's like,
because you are electing to do some of the things
and
that
I can
we have
say
access
you have low
to.
self-esteem for walking around looking like that.
Well, you know, I definitely believe that if it is available to fix it,
then fix it.
Then
that don't have nothing to do with me. Fix it, and don't let nobody else make you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
If you want to fix it, if you want a new nose, new teeth, new body, new fingernails, go get it done.
They selling it. I'm sure somewhere they selling fingernails.
You can be taller. I saw a thing. You can be taller.
Did you see that?
You can be, if you're short, you can be taller. Yep. If you don't want brown eyes anymore and you decide that you want green, you too can have that too. And who am I to tell you what to do with your eyes?
No. I saw that. And then even like the eyebrow transplants, like you don't have brows, they'll like take hair from the back of your head and put them on your eyebrow. I mean, like, it's like a lot of crazy stuff like out there right now. Like, we need to just be taking advantage of all.
It's not wrong until people of color start taking advantage of it.
But you know what's girl, that
No,
is
I'm
a
so
word.
it's
No,
not
it's
wrong.
not wrong
It's not bad.
until we start
It's not
doing it.
trendy until we start doing it.
Okay, so look, so a point about that. So this whole like BBL culture, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when other cultures, I would probably say like non-minority cultures were getting the BBLs, like
Kim
it was the
Kardashian.
thing to do. And so when people of color, women of color started to do those things, I noticed there was a mass exodus of women now wanting to remove their implants. And it's just so funny how it's almost like everything is okay. It's great. It's the end thing to do until other groups of people get access. And now we don't
don't do that anymore. That's even in fashion. We saw uproar of people getting Hermes bags, Birkins, right? And it was cool when Black people had no access to it. When people from marginalized communities, when you thought the people who were marginalized and could not have access to it, when they did not have access to it, you wanted it. The moment people from marginalized community or people that you think don't deserve that, the moment they have it, that's so last year. It's a constant like cat and mouse game. And I say that as Black people, we fall into it because like we want the trends, we want the fads, but it's always a moving of the bar. So once we obtain it, we check it off, they move the bar. We get that, they move, oh, that's not, you move the bar. And that's why it's so important for you to like things that you like for you.
Do you feel like in some ways that we're just like late to the party and we're finally arriving? Or do you think in some ways we are subconsciously kind of trying to keep up?
We were always intended to be late to the party from the moment we arrived here on slave ships. We were never intended to arrive to the party on time or even get the invitation to the party. It's been by happenstance, by miraculous miracle, by phenomenons that Black people have been doing the things that they're doing that they never expected us to do, that we've gotten the invitation to the party. But that's not all of us.
Yeah, and I feel like I see the same thing with this whole like Monjaro, like Ozempic craze. Like what frustrates me so much.
Ozempic's been around.
It's been around. Frustrates me so much is that, and I even see, it's like that crabs in a bucket mentality. I even see people of color doing it to other people of color. A person loses weight, oh, she must be on Ozempic. But it's like, but what's wrong with that? And what we should be even more upset about is the fact that persons of color are the ones that are most likely to develop heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. And here it is, a weight loss medication,
that helps,
active ingredient that could have prevented a lot of these chronic illnesses associated with obesity, and they've tried to keep us from having access. So it's like, now that we have it, people still, that's what we should be more concerned about. The fact that we could have prevented so much chronic illness had we had access to some of these same medications and some of these same treatments that have been around. This stuff is not new.
No, I say the same thing when there's certain cancer treatments that help women keep their hair during chemotherapy. It helps you, but if you don't know, then you simply don't know. And I think the goal has always been is that we almost spoon feed certain communities and cultures information until we feel like, okay, you've had enough. We're not going to tell you anymore. Now we're going to gatekeep. And that's why I kind of feel like Black people should gatekeep our secrets. So when we talk about like Black soaps, when we talk about things that are from like Africa, like what if we gatekeep like how much stuff other people of other cultures wouldn't have access to?
And it's not just beauty, like it's not even just health, like even financially, like with the credit score. Like the credit score used to be like 600, and now it's like we found out that I just need to get a 650 credit score, and now it's like 750, 850 now. So they've just further moved it along to just make it even harder.
Black women obtain the most degrees consecutively for the last 4 years. Consecutively. Black women have had the most degrees, and whether that's associates, bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degrees. We have raised the bar for that. now to have a bachelor's degree, because we have bachelor's degrees now, get a master's.
Yeah. Now bachelor's is not
Now
enough.
it's like, oh, you need a bachelor's and certifications. Now you need a bachelor's and you need 12 years of experience. Well, girl, I'm only 35, so when did I have this experience time? I was supposed to be an infant and on the computer? And so it's always this constant reinforcement of like, you're never good enough. And you're never going to be good enough.
And that's why I feel like some of these routines, actually coming back to that, like, are so important, because the world says such vastly different things about that and about us. And I think that by prioritizing self, prioritizing our emotional and psychological well-being, it's almost like our act of rebellion in a way. You know, there was a point in time when we were not privileged to have a shirt for every day of the week. And now, you know, we have closets that are just as robust as the next person. Not that this is even just about material items, but just the opportunities, you know, that we've been afforded in comparison to what we were afforded, you know, before.
That's about something. If there was a way that I could time travel my 8-year-old self and just put her in a room with me now at 35, she would probably be in tears or in awe of like, girl, you have what? Like, I turned a room into a closet. We were homeless, so you gonna go turn a room into a closet? Like, that's what you're gonna do with your spare room. You're gonna turn a whole room into a closet and just display your bags. And people think that it's about the vanity of like, oh, I want this and I want that and I want that. It's not. It's about simply, you see things so long as a child and you want those things and you know that it's obtainable, but no one ever tells you how to get there. So when you finally figure out like how it is that you obtain these things, it's not even necessarily about the things. It's the act of
being able and giving my younger self permission to say everything that you dreamed of, it was definitely relevant and you weren't dreaming too big. You weren't dreaming big at all. Like, you weren't dreaming big enough. Like, you thought, oh, when you made it, you know, I was just trying to make it to how, like, literally, I wanted to go to LA. Yeah.
Like, just go to LA. Like, that was on my map board. That was so minute to what is actually in the whole entire world.
And I always think like a dream denied is just a dream deferred. Just because it was denied to you at that point doesn't mean that you've forgotten and that your inner child is not still longing, you know, for some of those things that you wish that you had. Before we close this episode, I want to talk a little bit about that because a couple of things have emerged from this conversation. One of them is access. And you said this, like, people cannot be what they cannot see. And that is something that I've been privileged to experience. That's something that I've been in a position to be for someone else. That's one. And also you touched on the power like of mentorship. You have been a mentor for almost like as long as I've known you. So I want you to talk a little bit about just some of the programs that you do and some of the ways in which you instill some of this self-love for girls, younger girls who were just like us that needed to see somebody doing some of the things that we're doing.
So the first one would be a date with my younger self. And that is a dinner where women who are business owners like yourself, Zuri, you came to the dinner last year, and we group you guys according to the survey that you fill out. So each of the girls fill out a survey, and they tell us about their childhood traumas, aspirations. The adults do the same thing, tell us about your traumas, aspirations. We put them together, and it's called A Date with My Younger Self, the perfect match. And the goal is to get the girl to see what it is that right now is just right now. It's not forever. And so the ideal is that you see your older self in somebody else, but then also for the adults, you realize that like the young girl that desperately was growing and changing, you needed to sit across from her physically so that you can finally say like, I've made it, I've done it, I've succeeded, and I have so much more to do. In therapy, we talk to my younger self all the time. I'm like, girl, why we keep time traveling? But it's because so much of the ways that we show up is through our childhood trauma. Like so much of the ways of how we respond to things, people, relationships, parents, how we treat our own selves is so much enrooted in what we think about ourselves, and what we think about ourselves started when we were a kid. And it started with our mama. So if they didn't think they were shit, we probably don't think we shit either.
Well, okay.
And that's like true. And so the second part of that is the pageant. And people are always like, you want every girl to compete in a pageant. Every girl, every woman, female should compete in a pageant. At least one. I don't care if it's the Miss Pumpkin Patch of Huntsville, Alabama. Compete in a pageant. And the reason why is because you gain so much self-confidence from being able to go on stage, say your name in front of people, say your grade, say what your aspirations are, say your goals, put on a dress. And even if you hate the dress after you wear it, but just walk across the stage one time in it, and I guarantee you, you can conquer anything.
This has been such a wonderful conversation, which I knew that it would be. You have always been just like a source of admiration for me. I mean, I've done a lot of things like academically, but you are definitely like the epitome of grace. You are just everything. I've always thought that about you, though.
Now let's tell a backstory. Zuri Dale beat me in a pageant competition, okay, at Miss CSU. She cheated. She twirled fire batons to Michael Jackson. Okay, she came on the stage and she lit the batons on fire. We knew nothing.
I did.
We knew nothing. The whole time for this 8 weeks that we're practicing for this pageant, she was just twirling regular batons. And then the day of the pageant, she lit them on fire.
That is true. Mm-hmm. But didn't you just say every girl needs to compete in a pageant?
Not with fire batons, and everybody else don't know that you have fire batons.
That was like the mic drop.
Yes, we know. Because who want to go after that?
That was the...
I done came to sing Diamonds Are Forever, and you set the stage on fire? Oh, no, man. Shit, I could leave.
Girl, that got me working day and night. I'll never forget that little song.
Yeah, she busted.
I came up out that little blazer.
This whole time, she been practicing in the blazer. And I'm like, okay, cool. Got a little blazer, Michael Jackson.
We need to cut to that video.
We do need to cut to that video.
Y'all.
Twirl to her, and you should find a picture of me backstage. I knew I messed up. I knew I should have bought something else. I need a snake. Give me a real diamond. Give me a midget out here or something. Somebody come help me. Because how am I going to compare? We were going in order, and I said,
this girl.
What? Fire. I remember my mama came. She's like, well, you should have really wrapped it up when she set them batons on fire.
Roneshia talking about a pageant. We were in college. Roneshia went on to do like all of the things.
And I never forgave her for setting the batons on fire on that stage like that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm, you're welcome. I'd have set your house on fire.
No. Your mama gotta come.
You're right. You're right.
But this has been like a wonderful episode. Like, you are truly like just a breath of fresh air. And I think one thing that you do for younger girls and older girls alike, just like me, is that you give us hope. You let us know that we deserve to do and be all of the things. You really help push me beyond like mediocrity. And you really, really, really encourage me to take better care of myself. And I got a lot of tips.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop buying sheets off Amazon.
Please.
And I'm going to get me some ostrich heels.
And pajamas and not a t-shirt. They say Jam with Space Jam across it.
No more Dare t-shirts to sleep in. And no more washing my face with.
And change your drawers once a month.
Okay, see, cut. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Beauty and Brains with Dr. Zuri Dale.